So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the refresher course on OS. My name is Gopi Krishna Menon, and I'm one of the TS for CSE 231 Operating Systems course. So today, the session is actually divided into two. The first half of the session will be conducted by Kushal Sharma, who is also a TA in the Operating Systems course, and he'll be teaching you about GDB, like how can you debug your programs and everything. And in the second half, I'll be teaching you about Bash. So we'll learn how to create basic Bash scripts. We'll not go into too much depth, but the resources which professor has provided, they are much more than sufficient for you guys to learn about Bash. It will be useful as you are writing scripts in the future. So, and I also want to cover Git if it's possible today, but let's see, there are some doubts with the kernel as well, right? So we'll try to clear your doubts first, and then only we will go with the Git part. I'll in the second half of the session, I'll ask how many of you are familiar with Git and if you have any kind of problems. So yeah, Kushal, you can take over from here. So yeah.
Sure. Okay, so can you give me permission for screen sharing? Gopi, you here? Hello? Gopi? Okay, yeah. Co-host. So,
okay, I made you a co-host.
Yeah. So I can share my screen.
Yeah.
601. I hope everyone can see.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, let me try. Yeah, both are visible, right?
Yeah, visible. It's clear.
Yeah. So let's start. Hey everyone, I'm Kushal Sharma. You must be, some of you knowing me from design course, and some of you don't. So let's start our today's session. It's about GDB. So let's learn about GDB. So I'm MTech student from this college only. I'm doing my MTech in computational biology.
Kushal, can you increase your voice a little bit? If you can be a little bit closer to the mic. It's audible, but a little more would be great, actually. I'm not able to hear you, Kushal. Are you not on mute, I think? Okay, there is a power cut. Students, just wait for a while. There is a power cut at Kushal's house, so he's just starting up. Till that time, let me see how many participants are there. Total 63 participants. Okay.
So can I just ask a doubt till then about the kernel?
Yeah, sure. Please go on.
So later on, there was a file posted on the Google Classroom, a config file. So do we just leave all the steps that we did last time? So can we
see if you have done the steps last time, then in that case, as I mentioned before, you have to run make Mr. Proper. Okay, Mr. Proper simply removes all the build files and everything and just cleans up your directory. Okay, then what you have to do is you have to place this config file from your Google Classroom into this VM. That how you need to do. That was my question, how would you do that? Well, it's simple. You can do a drag and drop and it will work. There are other methods also like SCP, but we will not discuss about SCP for now. But yeah, just place it there and then you can just run make. And okay, so Kushal is back.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, the drag and drop doesn't work there, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
So if we have completed till the first video, we have to use make Mr. Proper.
Yeah, make Mr. Proper.
Yeah, just 2 minutes. I'll have to just do a walk around. So Gopi, can you continue 2 minutes, I guess?
Okay.
So I have a doubt, sir. So what happened is I had made the config files how you had made during yesterday's session, but I did not I generated the config file, but I did not make it. I didn't use the make command. So I have the config file which was used last time in the class.
Okay.
So since I have not used the command make, should I use Mr. Proper now after using the
no need. If you have not used the commands, it means you have not compiled it at all. If you have not compiled, then why are you clearing the artifacts? There is no need to clear the artifacts. Just go on, put a slap in the new config file, and that would be sufficient.
So basically, first we do whatever was done in session 1. In that we install our RTX Linux. Then after we can yesterday's session, if we leave that, instead we can just use the file on GC, right?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's
And then,
better. Like you guys can do it yourself also if you want to customize your kernel. But I won't suggest that, because see, even after like I have done the customization, some students are saying that they are not able to access their input device. So these kinds of problems can come. So that depends upon like trial and error sometimes. I'm not sure like what are the different numbers of drivers like we have. So there might be a problem. I added the basic 80 keyboard driver, but still students are facing. So we'll look at that as well.
oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand clearly. If we have completed till first session, then
Yeah.
we don't need to use the config file.
No, we need to use the config file, but we don't have to use the Mr. Proper, I'm saying. See, after you have installed your virtual machine, you have a RTX, right? Ready.
Yes, sir.
And you will download the tarball from the internet, right?
Yes, sir.
Once you have downloaded the tarball, you will extract it, right?
Yes,
After
sir.
extracting, you will from the Google Classroom, you have to put the file into your system. Okay. That is the
Yes,
step that you guys have to do. Okay. Once you have done that, just run make and it should start working.
Sir, excuse me. Actually, sir, I was trying the SCP method, but
Yeah.
sir, actually, through that, sir, actually, I was not able to connect the SSH to one of the machines, sir. Actually, I didn't know which one.
You can
Sir,
look at the, see, we will do it in the class also. Don't worry about it at all.
but sir, the drag and drop will work, right? Because I didn't try
I'm
it,
just
so-
looking into that. I have done this before. That's why, but I'll just look into that once again because I'm using WSL every day. So, but yeah, I'll check it once again. So if the drag and drop is working.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can start.
Yeah, please.
Sorry for the interruption. Okay. So I've told about me. You can find me on this social media handles. So the question is, how do you find bugs or problems in your code when you're debugging? Most of you use the print statements, obviously, right? There's a better way. The better way is the GDB. GDB is a GNU debugger, which helps you to. Am I audible, right?
Kushal, a little bit louder if possible. A little bit louder because yeah.
I hope I'm better now.
Yeah.
Okay. So GDB is a GNU debugger. So what debugger uses, you can use the debugger to interrupt your program in between execution. So when you interrupt your program in between executions, it goes into frozen state. You can poke around other things, variables, set up breakpoints, and use the watch points, and get the variable values and other things, right? Let's look at that, how to do that. First, let's look at the thing. Why printf is not good enough. So using printf, you can use the variable or where the program is running or where the error is getting, right? But the problem is when you want to halt execution of program or go through a single by single step in the execution of program. So if you are running a function and go like back. So if you are running a function and if you have to go through a function and then see how while loop is working and where condition is not meeting and how program is skipping those lines, you can use the debugger to look at that. You can inspect the value of the variables. You can just tell the program to hold when the value of the variable is equal to something like if x equal to 3, you can just stop the program at x equal to 3 and many more features, right? So let's look at how to debug files using GDB. So there are two things. First thing is we have to compile the code. So if you have a C file, you can just use this command. GCC is a GNU compiler, and there are two flags, -G and -O. Then there is the name of binary output file, and there is the name of our C file. The output file name can be anything, just example in this case. And there are two flags, GNO. So what -G does is it tells the compiler to add the debugging information to the output file, so that we can poke around and do more debugging, right? And the show is used for output file name, right? So when you have, let's do it in the practical. So we have example.c file, right? I can open this file and show you. Is this font good enough or should I increase it?
It's fine on my side, but students, are you having, like, can you see it properly?
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we look at the example.c, it has nothing but an array pointer, and then there's a function and there's a main file. So in the main file, what we are doing using a for loop and just iterating from 1 to 10 and calling a function each time. So when you are calling a function, we are just accessing the value of the numbers array and printing it out. That's what we are doing. Let's generate the compilation file or compile the file using this command. So the command is gcc space -g for debug info and then -o. So in previous thing, we use the example as our file. We can use something else, like we can use test or anything else, and then the file of our the C file which you are going to use. Okay, so someone has raised hand. Yeah, Naman, you can ask.
So what is the example exactly? The first thing, is it the file name?
Yeah, example.c is the file name. This example is just
the first, like you wrote example 2 times. Like this first example, what is this referred to?
This is the output binary file name. So I'll just tell you how this. Here we are using the testing, right? We can just use the example or your name or my name, anything else. And then we can.
The first one is output and the second one is input.
So when we run the command, it will generate an output binary file. So this is the output binary file generated. In our case, I change the name to test, so it generated the test. If you keep it as example, it will generate the example. Right? We're going to use this binary file to debug the information, right? So if you just run this binary file, you can get the output of the C file. Have you ever heard of machine code? This is what it is. You can just move machine code to one code from other. If you have worked in Java, you must have heard about that. But yeah, so if you just run this file, you can see that we are just getting the output of those C program, right? So,
sir, if we write directly GCC example. Sir, if we directly write example.c, GCC example.c, then also it will give the same output, I think.
Yeah, it will, but we just want to just name, right? We just want to name the file what we are writing. It will just generate a.out or something like that, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to, yeah, it generate a.out, right? You want to name it. So that's why the -o in the command.
Okay, sir.
Sir, can you again tell what's the function of this -g and -o?
As I explained, the -g is used for debug flag. So it will generate an example output file, right? So the -g tells the GCC compiler to add some debug information, which otherwise it would have excluded from the file. So it's just a bunch of binaries. Let me show you how does it look, because we won't be able to visualize this file. So this is somehow it looks. We can't visualize this file using our editor. So this is the machine code or binary file, binary code, not binary code, the binaries of the program executed. So we use this to debug our program. So we use GDB space the compiled binary, right? So GDB space test, and we just go into GDB shell. If you can see, let me show you. Yeah, if you can see, we are in the GDB right now, and we can use all the GDB functions. And the commonest of the GDB function is just run the program, right? When you run the program, it says we are running the program, which is in this location, and the output of this is this. Fine. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Go on.
What will happen if there is a bug in our code?
Sorry, I'm not getting you. Hello.
Sir, what if you don't
Hello?
write -g in the command?
There are two people speaking. Please speak one by one.
Sir, sir, I'm saying.
Yeah, you go on.
I'm saying that if you don't write -g in that command, only -o, then it will create.
It will create the same file, but it will not have all the debug info, right? the debugger can use a lot of information for its. I guess there are a lot of functions of debugger. You won't be able to use all of them.
Okay, it will only create this binary file.
Yeah, without -g flag. Got it?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
yeah, I'll just show you once how to run GDB again. GDB space the file name. In your case, our file was test, right? So just enter and we'll go into GDB shell. I'm just clearing that up. Clear. Okay, it's not working, but yeah. So we are in GDB shell. The basic common command is to run the program. So run the program will the location of program, and running the program, it will take time starting to run program, and I have ended the program, right? We can just use a layout command to visualize the program. How it will, the GDB is smart in this case. It will just give us the C code and the shell, GDB shell, both together, and it will split the code into different layouts, right? If you can see, we are just broke the terminal thing, so it's normal. Just do refresh, and it will give you good look, right? So as you can now see, here's our C file code, and we are in the GDB shell. Next, let's set up a breakpoint. So what is a breakpoint? So when we want to run a program and halt it at some particular line or particular function, we can just say GDB command, GDB to hold the program, start the execution and hold the program at this current line or this current function. So this is how we set the breakpoint. A simplest way to use this B space the function name. We can just write main. It will set up the breakpoint at line number 24. The line number 24 is this. It went into main and set up the breakpoint. Here you can see we are getting the B plus, which is breakpoint. So this is, in this line we have breakpoint. So basic thing. Let's run the program. What will happen? The program will run. It started running. Then it looked around the code, and when it reaches to line number 24, it say it's the breakpoint. So stop our execution, right? So at the breakpoint one, and it is at main, and we can see it. We are in example C, and line number 24, we have stopped our execution, right? So there are some commands we can use from now on. So I have explained this thing, which will be example. So there are some common commands. One is the run. Next is setting up a breakpoint. So we can set up a breakpoint by multiple ways. One is the B space name of function, which I used recently, which is B space main function or void say function. We can use all of this to let me show you by using B space say. It will just set up a breakpoint at line number 18 in this thing in the say function, right? So there's one one breakpoint and there's another breakpoint. We can see all the breakpoints by info breakpoints. So we can see right now there are two breakpoints in our program. One is at the main and line number 24, and one is at the line number 18 in the example. It is the function name is say. There was another way we can set up a breakpoint, which is B, and then the file name, and there's a line number. So let's just say we want to set the breakpoint at this printf, right? So there's a line number is the line number of this statement is line number 9, right? So what we'll do, B space file name is example.c, and then line number 19, right? When we enter, it will add the new breakpoint at line number 19, which is this. Any doubts still here?
How to remove a breakpoint?
Sorry?
How to remove
the breakpoint? Okay, yeah, sure. So there are one way is to remove all the breakpoints, which is delete. If you delete, it will say ask for all breakpoint yes or no. If you just say yes, it will remove all the breakpoints. And if you do refresh, you can see all the breakpoints have been removed from here. or you just do info breakpoints and then see there's no breakpoint, right? So let's just set up a new breakpoint at let's just set up a new breakpoint at line number 18, right? So I'll just do b space example.c and line number 18. Just set up a new breakpoint. Let's run the program. Yeah, I'm sure it's asking, do you want to run from the breakpoint or do you want to run from the start? So I'll just say run from the start and run from the start and then stop the execution at this point. So we are in the function and we have integer I, right? You want to say what's in the integer I. So we can just do print I. Yeah. So the value of I is currently 1. We can just move to next step using step command. The step command will move to next line. There are two commands to move. One is step and one is the next. So what does the step do? It goes line by line. If there is a function, it will try to find the function and it will give output for that. So if we just do, we are at line number 19 right now, right? We were at line number 18 and just do the step. We are at line number 19. When I do step here, it will give some different thing, which is I output to C. So what it did is it went into the printf function and try to find the source of it. So it went to ioutput.c and it found the source of it, that this position, I guess, line number 13, ioutput.c. So let me run the program again, I guess. Yeah. So the step is not good for this this condition. Like if you want to go into print, then it's not good. What we can do is we can just go to next step. So it will just keep the function which are we are at line number 19. We don't want to go in the printf, right? So we can just do next. It will just keep the printf function and print what the output is. So it just print the message value, which is 1. So the message of 0 is 1. So it just print that. Next, when we go, it will just go to the for loop again. And right now, I guess I will be same. So we can, yeah, so the shorthand for print is p and then variable name, right? So what you can do is you can just write print bracket I, or just you can do p space I. Same I have said for the breakpoints, you can do breakpoint and then name a function also, and just do b. So there's shorthand for step and next, which I don't remember correctly, but yeah, it should be S and N. So we can try that out, I guess. Yeah, we can try that out. Let's do step. So shorthand for step is S, and we don't want to go into function. We can just do N. So it will just.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, why main at examples.c24 is printed when you insert the command next?
The program is device early means. I guess I did the next, right? I didn't do control C. I did the next. So the line was in line number 19, right? So the function compiled and returned to this line. So next for the each iteration, the function is getting called, right? So for I equal to 1, the say was called and it printed the message value for I equal to 0, number of I equal to 0, and then it returned to here. So after the execution, it went to for I equal to 2, which you can see print I. The I equal to was 1 because we were in line this. We have to. Aditya mic is on, so I guess.
And so, sir, you have shown us that how to delete all the breakpoints, but if we want to delete a particular breakpoint, how can we do that?
I think we have to try it out. Info breakpoints. So right now there's only one breakpoint, so let's set up another one. let's do B space men. So there should be 2 now in 4 breakpoints, right? I think it should be D space the breakpoint number, but I'm not sure. Let's try D space 4. So let's see now. 4 space breakpoints. Yeah. So D space 4 is really the number of the breakpoints. I hope you got it.
Yes, sir.
Next, we'll move to the finish. So we are stuck in the loop till we do what we can do is go to step by step or next by next. It will take too much time, right? So instead of this, we just want to get out of this. We can do is finish. So it will just give us out of this thing, right? Now we are stuck at next breakpoint. So if we want to continue our execution and don't want to stop here, what we can do is we can say continue, right? So it just skip all the breakpoints and continue the execution. Or you can, in short, I guess you can type C for continue. We have covered this step, next finish. I think we have covered. Print is also covered. Yeah. So let's look at this. Most of the thing we did, what you could have done with printf function also, except the next and step thing. You could have not have gone through step by step using the printf, but most of the other things like printing the thing, variables, or where you are at. So you could have done with the printf also. Why use debugger, right? So they are high order things, something like go to layout split. I hope it works. Yeah, works. So right now we have divided our layout into 3 parts. First top is the C program. Second is the assembly language instruction set. If you can see, they are assembly language instruction. And third is the GDB shell. So let me delete all the breakpoints. Yes. So let me run from the start. The program started and we have run all the program. And you can see this instruction got executed in the real time. Let's see that by halting the program or just freezing the program in the one state. For that, we have to set up a breakpoint again. Let's set up one at the, I guess, say line number 16, B space, say. We have set up a breakpoint at line number 18. Let's run the program now. As you can see, we are at the line number 18 now, and the assembly language line is also highlighted. I guess this should be the address for this command, but yeah. So if as we step through the function, this also gets changed. You can see if we do next and then do next. So we can use if you are using something like assembly, you want to convert your code into assembly, or you want to see how the code in the real-time assembly works, or you are doing a low-level program, you can really easily debug the program using this thing. That's the main gist of it. Other use of the breakpoint is with using printf, you cannot stop the program. Let's just say when we are at third or fourth in this list, right? If you want to stop the program when the number of 3 is fallen or number of 4 is fallen, then what to do? I guess we can do this. Let me quit it first, or no, it doesn't work. I have to change the layout again because it's too much mess right now. Layout next. Refresh. Nice. Okay, let's quit. Yes. We'll do GDB test again. Right. Layout next. Run. Okay. So we are in right now. So we have a C program and we have GDB shell. The simple one. Right. Refresh. Right. Okay. So the next command is rwatch. what RWOS does is set a watch point. Watch point is bit different than breakpoint, but it's almost same. So what a watch point does it watches the variable or watches the program for a moment. When the value of the variable is triggered, then stop the execution of the program or hold the execution of program. So let's do it in the practical way. Let's just say R watch and stop when the numbers of threes stop, right? So when the numbers of 3 is called, let's do. I hope it works. Okay, numbers, there is no numbers. R watch numbers of 3. Yeah, so we have made the watch point at numbers of 3. So when we run the program, so the program, okay, so the program is right now at I equal to 4, and we have stopped a line execution at C equal to 18. So if we see right now, print I, so we are at I equal to 4. So if when we see number of 4 equal, number of 4s will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So when the I equal to hit 4, and when the number of 4 was accessed, the program was stopped, and we can now poke around the things like if we go into message, we can see the value of message, P message. Let's see the value of message, which is 3. So let's check number of 3 with this. So number of 3 will be, number of 3 is 4, right? So before number of 3 exists, we will last the message, value of the message was 3. So we stopped our execution is number of 3. Did any of you understand, or I was hacking too much? Do you want me to explain this again?
Sir, a little bit. The starting part, the definition I didn't understand. Like.
Okay, let's do it again. So what does the R watch do? R watch sets a watch point. So what will watch point do? Watch point will watch the whole program till the condition triggers and the value is read, right? So I set the condition as R watch numbers of 3, right? So we have an array of numbers or array of something, which the variable name of the array is numbers. And I said when the value is read, so value of the numbers I was given was 3. So when the number of 3 was read, I said stop the execution and let me poke around the code, right? So let's do it again. Delete. Yeah. Do we have watch point right now? I'm not sure, but yeah. R watch number of 3, right? So we have set the watch point. I think the old watch point was not deleted, but yeah, we have set the watch point at number of 3. So as soon as the number of 3 is hit, we will stop the execution of our program. So how will we do that? What we'll be doing is just running the program. Okay, it's asking that do you want to run from the start? Yes, we do want to run from the start. What the program did is the program executed the function and the for loop till the number of 3 was accessed. So number of 3 is 4. As you can see, number of 3 is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So before this was executed and just accessed the number of 3, we have halted the program, and the program right now in the freeze state. We can just see the value of message variable, which is right now 3. Get it? Now if we see what is the value of I? Let's say value of I is 4. So we have stopped it right now. Let's quit and do the watch point thing again and setting the watch point to different number this time. Layout, space, next. Run the program first. We are in the layout. Right. Let's do different time. Let's set the watch point for the 9th position.
Can you show that how to set watch point according to the value of I variable?
Okay, let's do that also. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try that. R watch I equal to what do you want to? Let's set it for 5, I guess. Okay, it says no symbol in current context. Okay, we might have to go into main. So let's just set up a breakpoint first. Breakpoint main. Okay, so run the program. We are in the main right now. Let's try for now. Watch I equal to 4. Okay, so we have set the watch point, which is at I equal to 4. Let's run the program again. Run from the beginning. Yes, starting the program. Breakpoint 1. Go to finish this breakpoint. Okay. Well, let's try with next. Next 1. Okay, then continue. Maybe. Okay. So let me try by deleting the breakpoint once. Info breakpoint. So number of breakpoint is 1. I'll just delete the 1 breakpoint. And then try to rerun the program. And it's not stopping at I equal to 4. Let's see it again. We have set up a watch point at I equal to 4, but we are not stopping at main, and from the outer side, not able to access the I. So I guess that's what the problem is. What else we can do? I think the problem here, I hope you understand the problem. The problem is this array is the global variable, but the I is not the global variable right now. And from the outer scope of the function, we cannot access the I. So I don't think it's taking that risk. Yes. So if we say R watch space I equal to 5, it says this in the current context, in the current scope, there is no variable defined. And if we are taking a breakpoint here and then we say continue, then it's running for all the time.
Or maybe you can set the watch point inside that for loop rather than inside the main.
Okay.
So alternatively, can we like make I a global variable and then pass a different, like the local variable of the J, the parameter in the say function, we can set that to something else and make I a global variable?
We can do that, but let's try the first thing first. First decision that let's set up the breakpoint at 24 line. So in the, what was the file name? Example.c, right? Example.c, the line number is 24. The breakpoint 3, line number 24. Okay. So run the program. So we are at line number 24. Let's set up the watch point RW2CH. I equal to 6. We have 4 watch point. Okay. Let's let's run. Nope, from here. Okay. Okay, then from the start, I guess. Yes. 3.3 continue. No, we are not getting it. What else we can do? We can set up a global variable. Let's try. Okay, we have to quit this nano space example Correct. Control X.
So have you deleted the previous watch point which you have set on the main function?
Do you think it matters for that? I guess it shouldn't
Because
matter.
it is not printing the 4 which is in the previous result. It is not updating the results because we have set the value of I at 6.
Whatever you're saying, it's not showing the value of it. Then I guess now it's all deleted, right? So we can check. So you were saying that it was not printing the value of 4.
Yeah, which means it is not getting. We are not getting a new result because we have as we have set the watch point at equals to 6, right? So it should delete some 5 or 6.
Okay, it's possible, but right now we don't have any watch point, right? So you want to try that? Let's set a watch. Okay, we cannot watch point right now because we are not inside the. Let's try with a different number, right? Number of 9. Okay, numbers. It's numbers. Okay, what is spelling the thing right because we are getting the same error. So right now the I is 10 and message should be the number. Okay, the message. Yeah, it should be 9, right? So we are getting here. And you said if I don't delete this watch point and rerun the whole thing, it won't print the 10. Okay. So I have to look for how to delete a watch point. How to delete watch point in GTD. Info watch points. Okay, info watch points. We have one right now, and we do want to delete that thing. Let's try one info watch points. Okay, so we can read the watch points and run this thing. Yeah, now it's working. So let's try with setting up watch point as I or watch I. Okay, we have to go to main layout. Next, what was the line number? Line number 24. Okay, B space line number 24 in the example.c. Refresh. Refresh. Okay. Try now. I'll watch I equal to 5. Still not. Okay, we have not run the program. Yeah. I'll watch I equal to 5. Now run the let's try that. It doesn't stop. So even with the I equal to 4, it doesn't stop. Yeah. So I guess we are missing something here. So we have covered, let me cover the whole thing for now again. We have covered the run. A run is used to run the whole file. Like we want to run the example.c, we can just press the run. We want to set up a breakpoint, we can just do b and name of the function, or name of the file, which is example.c, and then line number. And C is the continue. So we have to set up a breakpoint, right? So our program will stop execution with breakpoint, and we want to continue the execution. We can do C, and it will continue the execution desktop till the next breakpoint. So if we have breakpoint at, let's say, line, okay, say line number 15, B example.3, line number 16. Right now we have two breakpoints, right? Void say, and there's a for loop. So if we run the program, start from beginning, yes. So it stops the breakpoint 24. And then we say, if we say continue, it will stop at the next breakpoint. So it stops at the next breakpoint. So this is what we can use do with continue, and if we do continue up to the last breakpoint, it should, okay, we are in the for loop, so it will again give us the same breakpoint for loop, and then we go to again this thing till the program ends. So this will happen. Finish. Run till the C2 cycle 2. Okay, the one is finished now. It will again go to all the breakpoints because we set up a breakpoint at hold. Let me delete the breakpoint at 24, which should be the port one. Let's do continue. It should again stop us at same function because we are calling the main function again and again. Okay, I'm getting confused. So wait a bit. Wait. Let's do GDB test. Layout next. Run. Okay. Let's set up a breakpoint, which is very space example.c, line number 60. So when we run the program, it will stop at the line number 18 because we are in the function. And if we say continue now, continue, it stop as I equal to 2 in the half. That's what I was saying. So we are running this function for number of times, which is I guess 10 times. So it will stop us as each time because the function is getting called again and this line is getting called again. So if it has a breakpoint, it will stop us again. So if we do continue, it will stop us again. I equal to 3. It will do same thing. I equal to 4. Till time we will get I equal to 10. Next is step, next and finish. So these things we used to step in the next step, or we just want to get into functions or inbuilt functions, something like that. So if we are at the line number 18 right now, we do say step, it will go to next step, just printf. So there are too many replica. Just remove this with refresh. Yeah. So if we do step again, we'll just go into printf, which I don't want to do again. So I just won't execute this thing, but yeah, this is what I was saying.
Okay, can you tell what refresh is doing?
Huh?
What refresh is doing?
Refresh is just refreshing this layout. Actually, when we set up a layer to do something, it is getting break somewhere. If you see, let me show you again. Right, so next, not broken, oh broken. So let's do step again. Not okay. If you see here, there are two for loops, right? And line number is same. So what is happening? That sometimes the layout in different terminal doesn't work because I'm using different terminal and the program was designed for different terminal. So it happens. So what we'll do is that just do refresh and it will refresh the whole layout completely. That's what refresh is doing.
Okay, sir. And one more thing, this GDB this debugger can be used only for debugging the binary files in the machine code. We can't use it for the original C file.
We are using it for C file, but we are just developing the compiled version of binary because we have debug information in that.
Sir, one small doubt. Like, how did you get this interface, sir, in the first place?
Yeah, I have used the layout command. So if you type layout here,
No, sir.
it
Like,
will give
this kind of command window, I mean to say, sir. Where you're able to use
this kind of terminal.
Yes, this terminal.
Okay. So Hopi, what kind of terminal do they have in the which Linux you are using?
In case of Artix, they cannot do this because I think it uses Genome or KDE. What is it actually? Console is from.
The console is not doesn't matter. I guess anything will work.
Yeah, but regarding what he's asking.
How to get the terminal? I guess Control Alt T will work, right? In the Artix.
In Artix, no. In Artix, by default, he is already in the shell, right? We don't have to go to the terminal or anything. We are not on a GUI based interface. I think so. He was asking. I thought he was asking about the layout. Like it looks good. That's why I was thinking.
So it's just a KDE base. So
yeah,
if you have GUI based Linux, you can install.
Able to use this in Artix also, sir.
Yeah, you can use GDB command in the Artix only. Right? You can just on the terminal just type the GDB. You will see GDB. You will get this window. And if you want to get some help with commands, you just type help. It will say what kind of help you want. So it just listed some classes like aliases, breakpoints, and other things.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I got it now. Thank you, sir.
So, yeah, if you just say help breakpoints, so it will just tell you all about the breakpoints, how to do breakpoints, set a breakpoint, catch, delete, clear. You can just press enter. It will give more and more info. It has a lot of info. So that's why you can read like delete for deleting the breakpoints. You can do bookmark and all things. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
And just queue to quit this thing. Okay, so we have done this step, and next, so step will go into much into inbuilt function, which we can use to avoid. The next will not go into that, and finish will just finish the iteration in the function. Like if you are in the function, if you do finish, it will just get over the function execution and get you out of the function. Then there is a print. So print p space variable or print bracket variable. So whichever is comfortable to you. You can just print the value of wallet at any point of time. Then there is rwatch, which you have to look because I could not explain it very well. So rwatch space expression. So it is used for conditional breakpoints. There are other methods also for conditional breakpoints, but this one is the more preferred. It just says that the watch point when the variable or the condition is triggered, it will halt the execution of our program. Layout is called for used for layouting the different views. Say if we say layout next, it will give us two split screens. One is the source code viewer and one is the GDB, right? So next is layout. I guess the center. It will show if you enter the layout and enter, it will show you how to use this command. So if you just forgot that how to set the breakpoints, just enter. It will say either if it knows the breakpoints command, it will say the uses, otherwise say try the help. So in case of the layout, we can use previous, next, and there's a layout, different layouts specified. So let's try, we have tried with layout next, let's try with layout previous. So what is does what the layout previous does is, okay, I haven't selected the file, but I have explained about the assembly code, right? And the machine and the C code. Instead of the C code, it will show the register values from your CPU. So how register values are getting changed, and then how assembly code is getting changed with your breakpoints, with your printing stuff, and halting the execution in between. So you can watch them here. Well, let me show you. Just GDB space test, and then layout previous. Right now, I guess you can see. Yeah. So let me do refresh. Let me set up a breakpoint example.c at 24 number line and then run. So as you can see right now, we have a register group which is in my system, and there's another one is the assembly language code. So you can see how with changing the halt and freezing the state, it changes. That's it from my side. These are some of the references I used. And you can go to Missing Semester 1, which has the whole video lecture on this thing, and you will understand it better. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kushal. So we'll be starting with the second part of the session now.